Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving honor and praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. Giving double honors to 7130 South Chicago that taught me this truth. Giving double honors to all the brothers and sisters that the Creator has awoken in these last days. With that being said, peace and shalom. With the Hebrew Israelites coming week in and week out, preaching the destruction and the downfall of this kingdom, which is America, and the European common market system. And it behooves the so-called black man to return to his national identity, to return to his God, is because as we sit back talking, the Most High Yah has placed judgment on the system. This is why the system is $32 trillion in debt. This is why you hear about wars and rumors of wars that's spoken of in the earth today. This is why Russia and China and all the rest of the nations, they're gearing themselves to battle. And if you're not under the influence of the Creator, you're going to be ushered into the Third World War. And most of you that's not ushered into the Third World War, you're going to be destroyed, see? Because contrary to popular belief, most of us that look at the events that's taking place on the world stage, we don't understand what's going on the world stage today, right? We don't understand, like I was looking at social media news, and you see it's a lot of big things that's going on in the earth with the Jewish community and the Palestinians, right? How they're fighting against each other. And they keep talking about peace, signing treaties and things of this nature, but there's no peace. Because every treaty that they brought on the scene, they broke them, right? And why is it that the Christians, because this is what's going on, people don't understand is that the Christians are fighting against the Muslims, and the Muslims are fighting against, the Muslim is fighting against the Jews, and the Jews is fighting against the Christians, and all three fractions of the religions are fighting against each other, right? And what the people don't understand is that these three major religions that's fighting against each other, they all came together in a concerted effort to put the so-called black man in slavery and do what? And exploit him, see? So what's happening is that the Creator is ushering these nations, not just the Christians and the Muslims and the Jews, but all these nations. Because all these nations that's on the scene, they have failed to bring forth righteousness and judgment on the planet. And the Creator refers to them in the book of Daniel, the 4th chapter, the 17th verse, as the basis of men. Men that don't care about humanity, men that destroy the water, they destroy the air, they destroy the food, and they destroy the moral fiber of the people, right? The way that the people think. And it took me a couple of months to kind of figure that out, right? Because when we look at our people today, the so-called Negro, we look at the woman is out of order, and the man is out of order, right? We hear women today talking about they don't need a man, right? Or if a man can't get with them, they gotta have all this money in order for them to submit to the man, right? But where are they getting that type of mindset from? They get that mindset from the slave master. That's where they get that mindset from. And the man is out of order too. Because the man look at the woman just as the sex object, right? So when we look at our people, we're coming out of a mentality. And what mentality is that? That's the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter of the so-called black man still in what? The valley of the dry bone. Because the valley of the dry bone is the confusion that our people been in for thousands of years. Do you know that the so-called black man been in slavery for over 2,500 years? I was listening to a guy by the name of Rabbi Shmuley. He says that his people been in slavery for over 2,000 years. See, that's incorrect. See, the people that's been in slavery for over 2,000 years is the so-called black man. We've been in what? The Babylonian captivity? Well, we got to go back to the Egyptian captivity. See, we've been in slavery under the Egyptians. We've been in slavery under the Assyrians. We've been in slavery under the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans. And now we're in slavery under modern day Egypt, which is the American system, aka the European Common Market system. See? So these nations have come together with a consent to rule over the so-called black man with an iron fist, and all the other nations that do not want to adhere to their law and order in the earth. And a lot of these things is what? Divine prophecy. See? See, when you look at the so-called black man today, you don't see him as the nation of Israel. You see him as the Negro, the colored man, the African American. See? The coon and the shine. When we talk about major issues, you tell us to do what? Shut up and dribble. That's what you tell us to do. Of Israel to America. And it doesn't matter what you Caucasians say. It doesn't matter what you so-called Negroes say. Or whoever. Because the Creator did what? He awakened the sleeping giant, see? And you're going to see many of us coming together in a concerted effort to expose the system for what they have done to us as a people. You can't take a people into captivity, rob them of the knowledge of self, and then turn around and tiptoe into the future. You can't do that. See? You can't hang people on trees to stabilize their communities and then tiptoe into the future. You know, we have a saying in the streets, right? We say that if you live by the gun, you're gonna die by it. Right? If you live by the gun, you're gonna die by it. And that's what's gonna happen to these nations. It's because their gods is the guns. Their God is money. Their God is natural resources. They don't care about humanity. Right? So the first scripture that we're going to go to is the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. The book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter, in the first verse. It says, keep not thy silence, O Yah, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O El. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. See, the nations that took us into slavery, they hated us as a nation of people. See? And it says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And what is some of the crafty counsel that they have taken against us, right? They came together as a nation of people to do what? To take us into captivity. When slavery was big business, all the nations, they took part in slavery. The Hindus, the Jews, the Christians, the Muslims, right? And even in our neighborhoods, the nations around the world, they control our neighborhoods. We got the Hindus in our neighborhood. We got the Muslims. We got the so-called white man. And that's another concerted effort to do what? To take advantage and exploit the people. They take all the money out of the neighborhoods, right? They control the educational systems. They control the leaders in the neighborhoods. So the scripture says what? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And like I say, what is the crafty counsel? They're not gonna teach you your history. They're gonna teach you slave history. That the so-called black man is a what? A savage that live in the jungle of a subhuman level. He ain't make no contributions to human history. See? He's a race of nobody. He and she. When you look upon these people, you can exploit them. You can take advantage of the fact that they dominate in sports. You can take advantage of the fact when they want to get into academia. See? You can exploit that. You come into their communities, if they want to bring Walgreens, Walmarts, or any other business in the community, you got to make sure that they don't control the businesses in their community. If they want to create a business, you got to come to them and do what? To have them to work for your business. To make you money. Make you millions of dollars. What is another way that they took crafty counsel against thy hidden ones? And that's not just it's black nations that did this too. See? When the Caucasians was coming over to the country, the west coast of Africa, and they was snatching up slaves, they didn't sell their people. They sold our people. They say, look, these people have broke the laws of the Creator. You can take them into captivity. See? That's what the other nations did that looked just like you. You can take these people into captivity because they're a race of nobodies. And you can put them in slavery. What is another way that they took crafty counsel? They robbed you of the knowledge of self. They told your ancestors to do what? Don't teach them. If we catch you teaching them your history, we gonna hang you on trees. So here it is. You got a 30 or 40 million black people in this country. They don't even have the knowledge of self. And we've been conditioned so much that even if you tell us the knowledge of self, we're going to reject it. It don't matter what history you bring out, what books, or whatever. If the Creator don't open up their understanding, they're going to reject it. See? Our people hate themselves. They hate their hair. They hate their lips. They hate the color of their eyes, the shape of their nose. See, all of this is the crafty counsel that they have taken against our people. It says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And how you gonna do that? You gotta do that through slavery. See? Like I just said, in slavery, our people was not allowed to transmit the greatest gift that all nations have is for a people to understand their culture, to know who they are, where their ancestors come from. Our people today in this country, in order for us to understand our history and where we come from, we have to go on what? Ancestry.com, see? Because our history was cut off in 1619. Our people was not allowed to transmit history down to their kids. And when you do this to a people, what happens to them? They lose the knowledge of self. When we was conquered by the Islamic Revolution that was happening, I think I think it was the 5th century. One of the things that they did to our people in slavery, just like the so-called white man, we had to adopt Islam. See? So by us adopting Islam, we had to do what? We was forced to put down our way of life, which was the laws, statutes, and commandments that the Creator has bestowed upon our ancestor, Abraham. What happened to us when we took on Christianity by force? We was told that either you become Christians or you're gonna die by the sword, see? And that your way of life don't mean nothing. It's because you're a savage that live in a jungle of a subhuman level. And in order for you to get salvation, you gotta take on Jesus as your Savior, see? But do you know, when we was over in the west coast of Africa, or before that, when we was in the land of Jerusalem, we didn't know no such thing as Jesus. Do you understand that? But it's not even really you that's doing this, it's the Creator. It's because, see, when the Creator empowered us and brought us into the land of Canaan, we rejected the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Creator. This is what we did. And as a result of this, the Creator empowered you to punish us as a nation. So it says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That means that what? You're going to lose that knowledge. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacle of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes and Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, with their inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hoping the children of Lot, Selah. And these nations that I just said, they exist today. See? They exist. And this is not just the Edomites and the Ishmaelites. See? You got the children of who? You got the children of Japheth, which is the seed of the so-called white man, right? But we understand that Japheth is really the original Japhites are the so-called black people. But they produce what we're looking at today, which is the so-called white man, right? So they too have came with a confederacy to take the so-called Negro into captivity. And as a result of this, our people was not allowed to transmit history down to their kids. So if you're not allowed to transmit history down to your kids, as a result, you're going to lose the knowledge itself. If you ask our people today what's their nationality, what they going to tell you? They're going to tell you a lot of different things. We black, right? We Moors. We Egyptians. All these things. It's because of what? Because of the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. See? But a lot of our people today, they don't believe in the Bible. They think that the Bible is a fairy tale book. Right? They think that the Bible is a fairy tale book, but don't even understand that the Bible is really their history. It's their saga. And one of the sagas that's gonna happen before your eyes is what? You people, you gonna see World War III. You don't even understand that you're already in it. So you're already in World War III. And the fate of the people is that what? Just like the animals in the morning, when they go out and they looking over their back while they scavenging for food, this is the mentality that's going to happen in this country with the Americans. See? It's because you fulfilled your lot. Now the Creator is about to take you off the scene. Just like we looking at the stores over here. A lot of these stores are shut down, right? It's because of the economy. And look, the economy is going to get worse and worse and worse. It's going to come a time in this country where a lot of you is not going to be able to get a job, see? Because why you think that you're working today? You're working because of the military. But once the military is over, then what? Down goes the people. Because what is holding the economy together today? The economy is being held by the military. But the military is being, but what is your military today? Your military today is nuclear bombs. Because really, you don't even have a military anymore. Don't nobody want to go to, they don't want to join the army no more. And if they do it for financial gain. Back in the 30s and the 40s, the 1700s, the 1800s, when they had armies, people went to war because they wanted to be just like their fathers. My father went to war. My grandparents went to war. They fought in World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War. But look, you don't see that no more today. It's because the greatness of America is fading away. It's just like when you get old. When you're in your youth, you're all over the place. But once you get old, you start to wrinkle, right? And then eventually, you're going to die and you're going to fade away. And that's what's going to happen with this country. Most people say that you got to die from something, but a lot of you is going to experience what? You're going to experience turmoil. A lot of you going to see bombs being dropped in the country. And you're going to cry out to your gods, and ain't no God's going to be able to save you in that time. See? You're going to protest in the name of Jesus, but Jesus ain't going to be able to save you in those times because, see, that's not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. See, that's not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So when you say, Lord, 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 the Creator's going to say what? I never knew you. It's because this country here is just a bowl of hypocrisy. Turn to the book of Revelations. All right, we're in the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter, in the first verse. It says, and there came one of the seven angels, which has the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore, which sitteth upon many waters. See? And who is the whore that sitteth upon many waters today? See? Who is that? That's America. See? She's the whore that sitteth upon many waters. It's because America is coming in the spirit of who? The old Roman Empire. That's who she coming in the spirit of. Because the water symbolizes what? The people, nations, tongues, right? Principalities. It says, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And with the kings of the earth who have committed fornications, and with the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And that's you Americans today. See? You have been duped with her philosophy, her teachings, her religion. her politics, her social living. See? And y'all have made marriages with her. And you continue to make marriages with her. So it says, so he carried me away in the spirit of the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-covered beast, full of the name of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And what does the 7 heads symbolize? The first head is what? It's the Egyptian world power. The second head is who? The Assyrian world power. The third is the Babylonian world power. The fourth is the Medo-Persian world power. The fifth is the Grecian world power. And the sixth, let's start over. The first is the Egyptians. The second is the Assyrians. The third is the Babylonians. The fourth is the Medo-Persians. The fifth is the Grecians. And the sixth is who? Is the Romans. But see, I'm forgetting one. See, I'm forgetting one. But these are the kings that ruled upon the world. See, they was ruling upon the world. But the first one that I started with is really the Babylonians. See, that's the first one. Then the Egyptians. Then the Babylonians. Then the Medo-Persians. Then the Greeks. And then the Romans. That's 7. See? And these are the people that ruled upon the world. They put their foot on the people's neck. Right? And this is the spirit that the European common market system and the American system is coming in. See, especially America, is because she is the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. This is who everybody want to look like. Because she's coming in the spirit of the old Roman Empire that ruled upon the people. It says, and she carried me away in the spirit in the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting upon a scarlet-covered beast, full of name of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Saying, what is blasphemy? That's you creating a system on the planet that's contrary to the Creator. See, that's blasphemy. That's you setting up a system, and you had the people thinking that it's looking like the Most High, but in actuality, it's not. And this is what Rome set up. This is what the Grecians set up. This is what the Medo-Persians set up. This is what the Babylonians, the Egyptians, and the first beast that came up after the flood, which is the old mystery city Babylon. See, that was head up by Nimrod, and contrary to popular belief, he is still being worshipped amongst the people today. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of what? Filthiness and abomination. And ain't that what the country is today? You profess yourselves to be what? The anointed ones of the Creator under the religion of Christianity. But in actuality, you brought to what? The filthiness of your ancestors from Europe. See? And what is some of the filthiness that you set up in the earth today? What is that? That's white supremacy. That's what you set up in the earth. I'm superior over everybody. That's what you set up in the earth. And your false religion. You said that the Christians was you said that Christianity was established during the time of Paul in the New Testament. But that's false teaching. And then you created what you would call Judeo-Christianity. That's some of the filthiness that you created in the earth. And then the Muslims, they turn around and created the Quran and says that Abraham was a Muslim. That's the filthiness that's in the earth. Then the Jews turn around and say that they come from the 12 tribes of Israel. See? This is the filthiness that has been created in the earth. And all the people is following after these traditions. And it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abomination and filthiness of her fornication. And it says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlot and abomination of the earth. Because the nations around the world, they're still following after who? Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. See? And with that spirit, what are they doing? They running around conquering people. Setting themselves up as gods. And you worshiping them as gods. Talking about Christianity, that the Christians was persecuted by the Romans. See, all of these are lies and deceits that has been instituted in the earth. And you build schools creating that false lie. Because the actual Christians, well, even though there's no such thing as that, but if you're going to talk like that, the anointed ones that was being persecuted by the Romans were Israelites. It's because why? You was taking us into slavery. You had us fighting in your coliseums. See? And then later on, you created what you would call the transatlantic slave trade. Portugal, Spain, Germany, right? Italy, England, all these nations, the 10 toes. Y'all come on the scene and say that what? The so-called black man is a savage that lived in the jungle of a subhuman level. That he made no contributions to human history. That the black race is a race of nobodies. So every time you look at us, you say, damn, look at these people. Look how many gold medals that they can win in the Olympics. Look how much, look how many loads of cotton that they can pick. We can rule over these people. We can exploit them. And this is what you have done in the earth. And this is what I'm saying. And this is what many Israelites are saying, that what? That you can't bring no people into captivity and don't think that you're going to reap the repercussions of this, because you don't even understand that the people that you took into captivity is who? This is the Most High's people that you was thumbing your nose at, that you was exploiting, that if they speak up for themselves and then they got to turn around and recant what they saying because they scared they gonna be that they gonna lose their jobs. These are the people that you destroyed their neighborhoods by setting up businesses in the neighborhood that will do what? Take all the wealth out of their communities. This is the people. This is the nation of Israel. It says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, with the blood of the martyrs of Yahshua. When I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Right? It's because Yahshua HaMashiach is the true Messiah of the Bible. See? And what was you doing during that time? You was killing us. It's because we was preaching his gospel amongst the earth. And what did that do? It came against your doctrine. It's because you and the Pharisees, y'all was preaching what? The Babylonian mystery system in your day. Right? And then you created what you would call the Council of Nice. And at the Council of Nice, you created what? Christianity, aka Roman Catholicism in the earth, which went around and did what? Conquering people, right? It says, and I saw the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahshua HaMashiach, and when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and the beast that carried her, which had 7 heads and 10 horns. But we already know who those people are today. See? Because the first one is the system that Nimrod set up in the earth after the flood, which is the Babylonian mystery system. 2 is the Egyptian or the Kemet world power system. 3 is the Assyrian world power system. 4 is the Babylonians. 5 is the Medo-Persians. 6 is the Grecians or the Greeks. 7 is who? The Roman Empire. See? And the 10 horns are 10 nations that came out of the Roman Empire in various dispensations. See? So who are those people today? You got, you say what? Nah, you ain't on camera. Okay. So you got England. That's one of the horns. You got England. You got Italy. You got Spain. You got Portugal. Right? These are the nations that came out of what you would call the Roman Empire, or what you would call the 10 Toes. Various Caucasian nations that came out of the what? Caucasus Mountains, y'all. At different times and different dispensations. But they wasn't always called this. They was called the Vandals, the Visigoths, the Suevians, the Herculi. All these different Caucasians that came out of the Caucasus Mountains, which eventually turned into the nations that I was talking about just a few minutes ago. It's gonna come a time in this country that you're not gonna have the police department to save you. See? When civil war starts in the country. Because the North and the South, aka the Democrats and the Republicans, they're gonna fight again in this country. They're gonna take sides. You're gonna have one demographic of people, they're gonna side with Russia, and you're gonna have another demographic of people, they're gonna side with America. See? And this is what we see today. This is the chaos and the confusion that's brewing in the earth. You can't see it because, see, you in your glow. You in your glow. You go into your 80,000, 50,000, 30,000, 100,000, $1 million jobs every day. But it's gonna come a time where the Creator's gonna, and see, these the plagues that we talking about. These businesses, they gonna run it, they running this course. It's because the nations around the world, they got an issue with America. They don't want our politics. They don't want our religion anymore, see? They don't want our social living. And that's in the scriptures when they talk about how they started to do what? They started to eat against the whore, see? Meaning that they what? They're going to break away from her philosophy that she was teaching in the earth. Her democracy, see? You write the Constitution of America, but you don't live by that. How you gonna say you follow the Constitution, but in the Constitution it says that you have a right to bear arms? But if you bear arms, then they say what? You gotta get a license. You gotta get a license, go bear arms. That's not in the Constitution. So you don't even follow the Constitution that you write down. It says, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of what? And it says, whose name was not written in the book of life, from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet and yet is and yet is. And who was that? See? Who was that talking about? See, that was talking about I believe it was talking about Rome, see, because Rome had come on the scene yet. And it says, and here is the man which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth. Each kingdom that was set on the earth was following after the Babylonian mystery system. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth in perdition. And who is the 7th? That's the Roman Empire, see? And who is the 8th? That's America setting herself up in the spirit of Rome, y'all. It's because Rome was eventually built through who? America. Starting with who? Your favorite president, which is George Washington. Because when the founding fathers came over here, they professed themselves to be of God under the religion of Christianity. And under these different organizations of what? Freemasons. Because you know, Freemasons profess themselves to be Christians too. But what did they do? They deceived the masses when they was doing it. But we talk about how great they were because they fought in the Revolutionary War against England, but they still had the same spirit as England because they all Englishmen. So the scripture says what? And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th, and goeth in perdition. See? And that's America coming on the scene as the spirit of Rome, y'all. So it behooves you people to understand who you dealing with here. So with that being said, death to America.